Good morning, good morning. I am going to reload my page so I can catch myself live. I can mute it. And I give people the opportunity to show up. I don't see it yet. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. I know it's a random. I put it up this morning, so some of you may get the notification. Hi, Elena. How are ya? You've been busy. Good morning, good morning. I'm just pulling up my computer so I can see the comments, because it doesn't always show on my phone. Thank you for the heart. I am talking today about logic never, I have it backwards. Logic never trumps the feelings. And because I've been experiencing, going through my cat died 2 weeks ago, Wednesday, and I'd been nursing a resentment. And I really took a look at that yesterday when my neighbor that I've been visiting every week, I met her when her dog kept coming over here. So we met and she came over. She said, hey, how about if we start walking together? That would help us both to go walking. Great, let's do it. So we walked very often. And then one day she fell and ended up going to the doctor and found out her cancer was back. The ambulance came and picked her up yesterday and took her to the hospital because her leg broke. And it just slammed me right here, right in my heart space. I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for that. And I can see where I just kept staying in my logic to not feel what I was feeling. Yes, that happens. How many of us do that? How many of us make stories, make logic, so I don't have to feel? And then I had a resentment that I was nursing because someone wasn't doing it my way. It was an event that I was a leader in, and how they were leading it overall was very hands-off in my mind. And so, yeah, I haven't felt like that in a very long time. And somebody asked me, so are you really liking being in this resentment? And I thought, oh, maybe so. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, she was 18, and, we just got to go through that process with her as she was preparing, and it's such an honor. It's so, that's my logical brain going, it's such an honor. And I feel it in my heart, but it also, when I'm in that space of telling myself this is so sacred and such an honor, I'm not feeling it. Well, that is the truth. I wasn't feeling my feelings about it. So when my friend, her leg broke because of the cancer, she's in the hospital, going to have surgery today. But when I learned that, I realized I'm in my head about it. Being logical, that this is her process, it's her choice. Well, that's all the truth. I'm not in that space of feeling, because I'm not there yet. She's not gone yet. But I'm still avoiding the feeling. That makes sense? And it's something I say, and it's something I know, and it's something I have done on repeat, that our logic does not trump our feelings, but it filters. Every single thing I feel gets filtered through my brain to make logical sense of it, so I don't have to feel it. Because when I feel it, I'm sad. That's the bottom line. I'm sad that I don't have a lot of time with her. Because I met her once we moved here, and so I've known her probably 2 years now. And so it's just really, I keep hearing my mentor will say, slow down, pause, breathe, feel and embody the feeling. And I think I'm doing that. I heard my brain go, yeah, I think I'm doing that. Well, I'm not then. If I think I'm doing it, I'm absolutely not doing it. Because the minute I'm thinking it, I'm not feeling it. I, and that's our mind. That's by design of the mind. Feelings aren't safe. Therefore, we must stay in the logical mind. Then I filter everything that I feel through the mind, trying to make sense of it and to feel safe. Because feelings aren't safe. Is that making sense? How do we feel when our mind is so on? It's on. My mind is on all the time. How do I stop and pause and feel? I've gotten a whole lot better at that. But when I saw how long I'd been, and it wasn't every single day I'm thinking about this woman and this resentment, but it was loud there. It was loud. And anytime it got triggered or I would have to deal with the situation, which I logically knew everything was going to work out fine. It was all going to come together the way it was supposed to. And it did. It was amazing. And yet I'm frustrated and mad because she's not doing it the way that I would do it. Which has led me to step up to do it next year. And then I learned later it was for an AA conference, Alcoholics Anonymous. And I learned later, yesterday, I think, that she's like 4 years sober. How can I fault that? How can I fault her at all for doing all what she knows? And so I got to take a look at what am I avoiding? Because that's my default. Anger and resentment is my default. So what am I avoiding by being angry and frustrated? Because now I'm in the process of watching my cat die. I'm in the process of watching my neighbor die. And I don't like that feeling. It's just a feeling. It's not going to last forever. I'm not going to die in it. I'm not going to be immersed in it and never come out of it. That's never happened. And yet, my mind's like, nope, that is not a safe place to go. It's not safe. Let's not go there. Let's not feel it. And a lot of us are that way. Especially being empathic. A lot of us are that way as empaths because we feel everything already. So if I can remove myself behind some other story that I make up, then I don't have to feel my feelings. I can feel everybody else's. And I can tell you what yours are. I can tell you what the energy I'm feeling is. But that stops me from feeling my feelings. Some of that I'm just kind of piecing it together as I'm talking about it, sharing it with you. So logic, my stories never trump the feeling. Now, the thing is, I'll have a feeling. I felt sad. It hit me. I swear, it was like this weight right here when I heard the ambulance go by. And then I'm reading the neighborhood chat that she's going to the hospital. And then I start to make a story. And the minute I start to make the story, I stop feeling. Feelings are feelings. That is all. They're just feelings. But we've had trauma, we've had experiences that we hold in our body, we have triggers, we have wounds, and that gets touched. And the mind says, oh, nope, we're not going there. It's too painful, we're not going to feel that again. Because it's going to feel like whatever it felt like before that was really painful, that was the original place. It's very convoluted. It's very logical. It makes all sense. But it stops me from feeling. How do I feel? I pause. Sometimes I count the breath so I can stop this from doing this constantly. So I'll count the inhale through my nose, exhaling out my mouth. That's a breath I teach all the time. Deep, deep, deep belly breath all the way up to the top of the lungs. I'll count that to 8 to 10, and then I'll exhale the same amount, and my brain will stop. So it redirects it and allows me to feel. The feeling is going to move. The energy, it's all energy, even the emotions are energy. When I actually feel it in the body, where is it living? Where is it taking up space? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it dense, thick? rather than I'm sad, I'm angry, you know, the labels that we put on it. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I just feel so depressed. Let's see, your dog just died. You're grieving. It is not depression. But because it's so familiar, our mind instantly goes to what's familiar. I'm so depressed. No, you're not. You're not depressed. You're feeling grief. But the mind spins it that way because it's familiar. Just like my resentment. She didn't do it my way. And that's keeping me locked in that place of very familiar. I'm not a fan of being there anymore. It's not very comfortable anymore. But it's super familiar, and that's where I'll default. Being angry. So everybody has their place that they will default to. When we pause, when my head starts to spin, I'll count that breath so that it redirects my mind, and it quiets it. And when I take that breath, I breathe way deep in the belly so that I can actually feel what is that feeling. Not what is my mind making it up, but what is the feeling? And I just breathe into that. Become the observer, become curious about what's happening. This is practice. We've been telling stories our whole entire life to protect ourselves from feeling, I call it the original wound, that trauma, where we were originally traumatized. And we put layer and layer and layer and layer our ego to protect that little one that lives inside of us. So it wasn't happening the way I wanted. I made a story about it. It wasn't going to work out. Dropped all this fear in it and got mad. My cat's dying in this process. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel the grief. I don't want to feel that sadness. I don't like feeling that way. There's some limiting belief in there that says if I feel the feeling of the grief and the sadness and I cry, that I'll never stop. That's never ever been true. Not ever one time. But it's really deep. The flip side of all of this is that I really saw how the resentment is very deep and very old and very familiar. And it's being brought to the surface for me to clear. So that's the bigger picture of it. Yes, it stopped those other things. It stopped me from feeling those things. But the bigger picture is we as empaths are here at this time, in this place, at this exact time, in this moment to clear old patterns and energies of our lifetimes. And that anger and that resentment is, I recognize it right away. As soon as I got the resentment, the thing was, I somehow here, I saw it, I felt it, I knew it, and yet I still kept nursing it. And now I can look back and go, oh, well, my cat was dying, my neighbor's dying, we're all going to die. That's the logic. We're all going to shed our earth suit. That's the logic. But the human part of me is sad. The mind part of me goes, nope, let's not feel that. So it's all very deep, old things that are being brought to the surface. It's a full moon right now. It was officially last night. Yesterday sometime, I don't know the time. So we're in that energy of the full moon, which is about shedding and clearing and releasing. Thank you. Sending you love and light. Thank you for that. And releasing. And when that happened yesterday with my friend, I was like, oh, okay. Like it just kind of brought it home. And then I had another person say, another mentor, she said, you're angry about death, because that was the whole low back thing I had going on for a couple weeks. Excuse me, I was angry about death and I feel cheated. I feel cheated. That really resonated for me. And that's what I felt. That was my thought, right? That's the thought. I feel cheated. That gives me all kinds of emotion. It makes me angry. It doesn't do anything. I get angry because I feel cheated. That's my story. That's what the mind is telling me. I feel cheated, and that makes me mad because I didn't have the time that I wanted. It's a very human, egoic thing. Right? It's me and my ego. So when it happened yesterday, I just went, oh gosh. And I just sat and I felt it. And my eyes leaked a little bit. And then I could see that this last couple of months of that resentment that was going on, and then my cat, and then, just the truth is we all come here and it's temporary. We all live in this earth suit temporarily. But our mind, the ego, wants to hold on. And it creates all kinds of stuff. And that is by design. And I get to learn to slow myself down and pause and breathe and feel. Knowing that the feeling is going to clear. It's going to move. It's all energy. The emotion will always get recreated as long as I tell the story. And that's all energy. But as long as I keep the story going, I keep recreating that emotion. Okay? I have a feeling. I don't want to feel the feeling. Even though it's going to move pretty quickly, the mind says it's not safe to feel. Tells a story right away. So now I'm no longer feeling, I'm in the emotion, and I keep recreating that here in my head rather than feeling it. Is that making sense? Are you getting that? When we are in the womb, and the mind is the brain, the brain stem is the first thing that gets formed. You have the reptilian. It's a very simplistic explanation. The reptilian, which is survival, the limbic, which is emotions, and the neocortex, which is logic. When we feel safe in our development, those all develop and we learn how to live in that balanced state. Survival, feeling, logic. They all can be very beautiful together. Whatever's happening with our mom, we can take it on. We tend to do that. And the survival, the reptilian brain says, oh, feelings are not safe. Because whatever the energy is, whatever the sensation is, because there's no logic yet. Right? There's no logic yet. But this reptilian brain goes, nope, feelings are not safe. Then the neocortex gets formed. So logic and survival. Feelings aren't safe. It's taken us a long time to learn to feel, because we were often shut down, or told to feel something else, or told how to feel, when to feel, what to feel. That was me. It's a lot of us. And now, as adults, with all this empathic ability, gift, it's really a gift, feeling everything. Well, good God, I don't want to feel my own feelings on top of everything else. And when we can step back from that and recognize it's all energy, some of it's me, some of it's not me. And it's all energy. But if I'm not ever going to feel them, I'm going to always harbor them in my body. And it's much more difficult to discern what's me and what's them, or you. Oh, it was cloudy, now the sun's out. Crazy. So this is our journey. This is our path. This is what a lot of us are learning in this lifetime. How to trust ourselves, how to trust our intuition, our feelings, and to listen from here instead of here. Let the heart lead. The mind is meant to be the servant of the heart, which is feeling. And take that inspired action, that intuitive action. And that's the learning. We're undoing a lot of things to come to this space of feeling. Because this is how we embrace and embody the feeling, and we raise our consciousness in that space and that state, because we get out of the head. I'll just let that land. That's quite a I don't even know what to say. I don't know what the word is right there. So let's see. I got a deck out. I got 3 decks out. I'm going to go with this one. This is the one that's speaking to me right now. This one. And I'm going to wrap with this. I'm going to pull a card for us. What we've forgotten. I don't know about, well, I'll speak for many of us, is that we were always told that, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? What's going on? Well, there's nothing wrong. I'm feeling something. Right? When we're kids, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's going on? What's wrong? Well, nothing. But you hear the language? What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I have a feeling. Oh, well, it's too much. You're too intense. You're too deep. You're too dramatic. You're too whatever it is, right? And the Tao of flow. Wow. It's a beautiful card. The number 7.
I'll be back.
Okay. My husband didn't know I was live. So I'll be back. Okay, great. I am not familiar with the Tao. I actually have a book from Wayne Dyer. His interpretation or unpacking of the Tao. All right. It says Wu Wei. I don't know what that means. Or doing, not doing. Taoism has deep roots in transmutation, divination, alchemy, and magic. The philosophy of Lao Tzu, Lao, first name, Tzu, speaks to the underlying and loving force of the universe, the Tao, the way. In being in alignment with the Tao, it was believed, I can read, that anyone in practice could become a master. The Taoist principle of Wu Wei, Wu, W-U, W-E-I, effortless action, or doing, not doing, perfectly personifies how to be in greater harmony with your intention. The Tao of Wu, indeed. We set our intention, we're focused on our intention, and we're going to trust in the current energy to get us there. When we're in a state of concentration and flow, we can more readily bring into alignment various aspects of our lives. I was wondering, how does this come together with what we were just speaking of? Come into alignment in the various aspects, which emotions, feelings, logic, all those things. In Taoism, there's a parable about a traveler on a journey who comes to a fork in the road where a wise person awaits. The traveler asks, "Which way should I go?" The wise person replies, "Where are you headed?" And the traveler, unsure of their purpose and destination, replies, "I don't know." The wise person answers back, "Then it doesn't matter what path you take. To obtain guidance, we need an intention." It's up to us to set the intention now, lean into the practice, and find our purpose. It's up to us to know where we're going, trying to go, even if it's a feeling. Energy will help provide the guidepost when we've declared our intent. Flow and magic are synonymous. We humans focus all the time on what we don't have or what we don't want by worrying, by using our magic powers to put energy into things we don't want to experience or bring into being. By being in flow, doing, not doing, while holding our intention, we surrender to the intelligence of the current. Where might you be able to set an intention to be more in alignment with the ways of the woo? Here's where I remind you that woo is also a word for shaman or sorcerer. All right, wow. It's a beautiful message. Tapping into the magic of the universe. And living in the flow. Setting our intention, living in the flow. It's number 16 and it's a 7. Magical number 7. All right, my lovelies. Take the time to pause. Like whatever's going on and we're busy, our head's busy, and stop. Put your feet on the earth, your bare feet, and just feel. Feel the energy. Sometimes I think to feel our feelings. Feel the energy of the earth. And then you're going to be able to feel your own feeling of what's happening for you. And breathe into that. That full deep belly breath. Exhaling out the mouth. Moves the energy. But it also allows us to feel it without giving it a lot of emotion and story. And keep breathing into that until you feel it clear and move. Doesn't mean you'll never feel it again, but it means you're feeling it rather than telling a story about it. You're feeling the feeling, feeling the energy rather than holding it. And that's how we learn to feel the feeling. Feel it, embody it, embrace it. I'm just wrapping up. Hi, Lisa. I'm just wrapping it up. So, have a beautiful weekend. We're supposed to be gone tomorrow, but the weather might change that. But I wanted to come on today since I hadn't planned to be here tomorrow. So have a fabulous weekend. It's a holiday weekend. And I will see you here next week. Namaste.